Hello everyone. This is the first part of a series of videos in which we'll look at using our applications to get the most out of them and make us more productive. Like many people, I spend a lot of time using my email client. I live in a Microsoft 365 world and I've produced a system to work smarter, not harder in Microsoft Outlook. We'll cover all the elements over several videos and tie in other applications to complement our smarter Outlook workflow. You might think I'm crazy with some of this, but bear with me. Everything ties together and you don't need to do everything all at once. Start with one or two elements and come back to the video as you master each element. I've helped many people with Outlook and it's great when I see a team, department, or even an entire company adopt the workflow. We'll remove the need for lots of folders and subfolders under your inbox so you don't have to manage that structure, and we'll address all of our emails that we receive so you don't have hundreds, maybe thousands of emails you've never looked at, saving time and reducing email anxiety. Outlook has changed a lot over time. I started using it in 1997, but I kept using it the same way as I did in 1997 for a long time. Today, I follow my smarter Outlook workflow to make the most efficient use of my time. The core principle is zero inbox. It's got two major benefits. The first is you can't miss important items. And the second is it reduces email distraction through your working day. So let's see how this works and get started in Microsoft Outlook. Okay, so before we start with the workflow process proper, I like to tweak Outlook a little from its default settings. I use Outlook on the web, and everything we do today can also be done from New Outlook on the desktop as well. And the workflow can also be tailored to other mail applications such as Gmail. So I keep a favourite up here for office.com so I can access all my Microsoft 365 apps. And when I've logged in, I use the 9 dots to see all of the applications that I can use. So the first step is to click on the settings icon. Now, I know a lot of people find this a little bit scary, and there's an awful lot of settings in here, but we'll concentrate on a few for today, and don't worry, you can always click things back. So personally, I like my emails split into focused and other, so I leave this one checked. If you don't like that approach, just hit the don't sort my messages and everything will be displayed in a long list. I find after a while, Microsoft really do separate the non-important emails into other, and we'll see that in a short while. I tend to keep the read-in pane on the right. I've seen lots of people who hide the read-in pane, don't see too many who put it at the bottom. The next setting to concentrate on is what happens when I move or delete an item. So I actually change this to open the previous item because I tend to work from the bottom up when I'm looking at my emails rather from the top down. And when I open Outlook, because of that, I like to select which message I read first, and that works for me. You can have a play around with some of these settings and see what works best for you. So the next thing to check is if we go into General, we'll see the Accessibility tab. And I like to make sure that I've got my Outlook keyboard shortcuts switched on. We'll use them quite a lot in this video. And if you come from a Gmail or another mail client, you can obviously use the shortcuts from there as well. And then we can move over to search. So search is hugely powerful in Outlook, and we'll cover that later, but rather than just putting in a simple term, we can do all sorts here. So I like to leave all folders switched on, and I include deleted, but I untick show top 3 most relevant results. I tend to find, I find it annoying that it shows messages up several times. So it'll show as part of the top results and the all results. And that's all we need to do in search. So the next item to look at is categories. So I've already filled some in here, and the reasoning behind this is emails generally have only one of 4 or 5 particular types of actions to do. Your workflows may be different to mine, but I've set 3 up here. We'll do a 4 and a 5. So to edit these, you click on the pencil icon, and for number 4, we'll call this newsletters. I get lots of newsletters to keep me informed of developments, so we'll hit save there. And I also do lots of project work, so I'm going to call this one Project Secret Squirrel, and click save there. The crucial bit here is to remember to hit the star icon so they show up in your favourites list when we go back to the main screen. So back to the main screen, we can see our inbox, our favourites at the top there, and then we've got all the other folders down the bottom. Now, I like to remove some of the unnecessary bits and pieces, so it's a right click and remove from favourites. I remove drafts, remove from favourites, and also deleted items are in there, and I remove that from favourites because all those items are down here. So we've got drafts, we've got sent items, we've got deleted items, and then I want to focus on the things that are important to me. So I also number them so I can keep them in an order. So the categories can be split into 2 different types. So the first is pre-categories and the second are action categories. So pre-categories are things like the newsletters. So you don't need to take any action straight away, and we can set up rules to move these automatically into your newsletter category, and a certain time in the week you can review those newsletters. Action categories are much more important, and you generally only have 4 types of action that you're ever really likely to take with an email. So I specify these as follow-up emails. So I'm responsible for the outcome of this task, and I'm the only one who can take action. So an example of this is my boss asked me for something that I can help with quite easily. I don't need anybody else to help, so I put it in follow-up. Waiting emails. Now, this is, again, I'm responsible for the outcome, but I need someone else's help. I need them to take an action. So this could be a presentation, but I need input from another colleague. And then we have read. So these are things I may need to refer back to in the future. So again, an industry report, it could be a process, an expenses process, and it's new, and I'm going to want to refer back to these. We've got our newsletters, so that's where I store all my newsletters, and we've got our secret squirrel project. Okay, so now we've set up Outlook how we want to use it, we can actually start processing some emails. We'll go through the calendar in a future video, and that will really supercharge this process. But for today, we just need to figure out how we're going to process these emails into the relevant categories and use some shortcuts to speed our workflow up. So I'm going to start another. And I've got some job alerts, and I've got a newsletter, and I've got some information from Microsoft about Dynamics 365. So the Dynamics stuff, okay, I can have a read of this. I've missed it, so I'm just going to delete that email straight off, and that's easy to do. The next one is a newsletter. So what I can do here is attach a rule, so I can pre-categorize it. So if we right click the email, we can select rules and create a rule. And if I click on more actions, so it's for all messages from Synology newsletter, and I can select an action to categorize this, and I can categorize it into newsletters, and I can run the rule now and hit save. Close that down, and you can see there it's popped it into newsletters, and Any more information from Synology with the heading Synology newsletter will automatically pop into our newsletter category, and you can see that the mail count has crept up to 1. The next bit is our first shortcut. So once I've dealt with this, I can just hit E, and that's now archived, so I can keep it for future reference. So the next email is LinkedIn job alert, and I can I'll follow up on this one. So again, right click, categorize, and follow up. And now I've followed up on that one, I can hit E, and it archives the email away. So we've dealt with our focus mailbox, and we can move. Sorry, we've dealt with our other mailbox, and we can move over to our focused mailbox. Okay, so this first email is an invoice, and I've paid the invoice, and we've done all that. So I need to keep a copy though for my accounts department. So we'll right click and we'll categorize, and we'll put that in read. And then as we want to keep it, we hit our E button, and again, that one's processed. So the next email is from Freddie Finance, and what's he asking us to do here? So he wants us to run a masterclass on Teams for his team, and he believes the detail session would really help everybody. So, and he wants to arrange a time next week. Now, I'm pretty good on Teams, so I don't need anybody else's help, and I can categorize that for a follow-up, and then I hit E, and that's done. So the next email is one from Marcus Marketing, and he's asking us to do a project which showcases the benefits of AI in the workplace. But my colleague Faith from the marketing team will be working on this initiative. So it's her project, and he wants us to partner up on this one. So, okay, so we can hit Shift and F. We can put please help me with this opportunity. So there we go. So I hit send, and that forwards that off to Faith, and we can work on that one. So now I need to categorize this. So as I'm waiting for Faith, I put that in waiting, and I hit E again for the archive. Okay, so onto this last email from Faith. So she's been asked to confirm her date of birth by the 16th of October. That's a little while away, so I'm not going to put in any of these categories, but we do have a snooze function in Outlook. So we can pick from some of the pre-canned responses, or we can choose a date. So this one's by the 16th of October. So I'll choose to do this on the 14th, and we can hit save, and away it goes. And we've now got to our 0 inbox status. That's the end of part 1 of our Outlook productivity videos. So we set up Outlook in a way which was easier to work from by tweaking a few default settings. We created categories which matched the actions we're likely to take on emails, and eliminated the need for lots of folders, and made sure we won't miss anything by placing our emails into those categories. We worked through our emails from last to first and created a rule to save us time in the future. If you apply rules to multiple emails, the time savings soon add up. And finally, we snoozed an email so we aren't distracted with unnecessary noise in the next steps. So in the next video, we'll supercharge our categories and use the calendar and to-do functionality. Thanks for watching. See you next time.